We all know about Yellowstone National Park, right? It's home to some of the most breathtaking scenery in America and an absolute treasure trove of geothermal wonders. But if you visit this park, you might be surprised by one thing, because there are a lot of hotspots here, like geysers, mud pots, hot springs, fumaroles, and more. And these features are all surrounding this massive, mostly unassuming lake called the Yellowstone caldera. Yellowstone Lake doesn't look particularly threatening, and most visitors will never think twice about its existence. But when you consider that this very same lake is hiding something that could potentially end all life on Earth, you might just start to rethink your weekend plans. Welcome back, everyone, to our channel. Today we're going beyond Yellowstone to reveal the Earth's other secret supervolcanoes, revealing secrets beneath the surface. It's no secret that our planet has quite a bit of volcanic activity. In fact, there are over 500 volcanoes scattered across the globe. But while most of them seem pretty tame, there are a few notable exceptions. There are 30 supervolcanoes around the world, and each has the potential to cause catastrophic damage in the blink of an eye. If you've ever heard of Krakatoa, Mount St. Helens, Mount Vesuvius, or even the much more famous Yellowstone, then you already know what a volcano can do when it erupts. But these supervolcanoes take things to a whole new level. To qualify as a supervolcano, a volcano must have a history of large eruptions, more than 40 cubic miles of material. Just to give you an idea of how truly epic these eruptions can be, the largest eruption in recorded human history was Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines, which ejected about 2.6 cubic miles of material during its eruption in 1991. A supervolcanic eruption can eject anywhere between 10 and 20,000 times more material than that. And while it's a relief that the Earth's supervolcanoes are relatively few and far between, it does come with a silver lining of sorts. You see, being so big, these volcanoes take a long time to charge up for an eruption. So instead of spewing molten lava every couple hundred years, they tend to only erupt every 100,000 years or so, giving us plenty of advanced warning before they blow their tops. The downside, of course, is that people forget about them. And when you consider the amount of destruction that would occur when they finally erupt, it's hard not to worry. So let's take a look at a few of these monsters and what they would mean for the world should they decide to wake up tomorrow. Let's start with the one you probably already know. Located in the northwest corner of the United States, Yellowstone National Park is home to America's very own supervolcano. Yellowstone is actually a supervolcano caldera, meaning it's formed from a series of overlapping calderas or collapsed magma chambers. Yellowstone hasn't erupted since the Pleistocene epoch, but it did erupt 3 major times in the past, leaving behind a vast magma chamber nearly 40 miles wide. These events took place roughly every 600,000 years, giving us a rough estimate for the intervals between eruptions. While scientists don't know exactly when it will blow again, they agree that it will, and when it does, it won't be pretty. Should Yellowstone erupt again, the blast radius would reach well beyond Wyoming, reaching into Montana, Idaho, and possibly even parts of Nevada. Ash would blanket the entire American West Coast, wreaking havoc on agriculture and daily life. Even worse, the explosion itself would trigger earthquakes and volcanic activity across the Rocky Mountain region, turning what is now a scenic road trip into an apocalyptic nightmare. At least the rest of the country would be safe, right? Wrong. Volcanic winter would likely follow, throwing the rest of the country into chaos. Because of Yellowstone's sheer size, the volume of ash and sulfur dioxide released into the atmosphere would block sunlight and dramatically lower temperatures across the globe. People living thousands of miles away would struggle to grow food and stay warm through the ensuing winter. Some estimates say it would take months to a year for the skies to clear and global temperatures to return to normal. And that means 6 months without sunshine in Yellowstone. The good news is that according to current estimates, Yellowstone has about another 600,000 years left before its next eruption. So unless something goes wrong, we're in the clear. But what if another supervolcano decided to put its own 2 cents in? It's not enough for me to talk about Yellowstone's supervolcano. We need to explore the rest of them. So let's do it. Let's start with the one closest to civilization. Located in the heart of Italy, just outside of Naples, lies the supervolcano known as Campi Flegrei. This volcano is made up of over 40 craters and covers a massive area of land known as the Phlegrean Fields. History shows that this volcano has had many violent eruptions in the past. One eruption 36,000 years ago ejected over 1,200 cubic miles of material and sent ash all the way to the Middle East. That's so much material that this eruption is believed to have killed off a quarter of the species on Earth, including several species of humans. So yeah, it's a little dangerous. But here's the catch. While it's considered a potentially active supervolcano, scientists aren't really sure if it will blow again. See, the Campi Flegrei hasn't erupted in over 15,000 years, and it's unclear whether it'll erupt again anytime soon. As such, it's still technically classified as dormant rather than active. Still, it remains restless, regularly rumbling and sending shock waves across the Italian peninsula. About once a year, there are small earthquakes around the volcano, and steam and gas regularly escape its craters. If it were to blow again, however, the effects would be catastrophic. Most of the damage would, of course, be contained within Italy, though the entire Mediterranean region would likely suffer. Next, let's cross the Atlantic to see what's brewing in New Zealand. New Zealand is known for its stunning natural beauty, from the Southern Alps to the countless beaches and bays along its coast. But one thing you won't find here are volcanoes. Well, except for White Island, also known as Huacari. This small island is just off the coast of the North Island, and it's home to one of the world's most active volcanoes. White Island actually offers tours where you can climb to the top of the crater and peer into its depths. But this volcano isn't messing around. It regularly erupts, and it's produced 23 historical eruptions. Its last major eruption occurred in 2019, killing 20 people who were visiting the island. If White Island were to blow, it would decimate the Bay of Plenty, destroying the coastal towns and ruining the economy of the region. Thankfully, scientists have a fairly good handle on its behavior and are able to predict its movements with relative accuracy. Now let's head down under to Australia's newest volcano. No, that's not right. Australia is known for its unique wildlife, stunning beaches and endless outback. But did you know that it's also home to one of the world's newest supervolcanoes? It's true. The Toba supervolcano formed just 7 million years ago after a massive eruption near the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. While this event happened millions of years ago, it remains the largest volcanic eruption in Earth's history, ejecting a staggering 2,800 cubic miles of material. The eruption was so massive that it caused a layer of ash to cover the entire Indian subcontinent. To put that into perspective, it would take the entire output of the world's coal-burning plants for 200 years to equal the amount of material emitted from the Toba super-eruption. But wait, there's more. About 50,000 years ago, there was another massive eruption at the same location. While not as big as the first, the second eruption was still over 1,600 cubic miles of material. This created a lake known as Lake Toba in the crater of the volcano. Today, the area is a popular tourist destination in Indonesia, but it remains an active volcano with scientists constantly monitoring it for signs of unrest. While it's unlikely to erupt again so soon, it serves as a reminder of the incredible power of nature. Each of these supervolcanoes is truly a force to be reckoned with. Their eruptions have the potential to devastate entire regions and even alter the course of human history. It's amazing to think about the incredible power of nature that these volcanoes possess. But it's also important to remember that they're a reminder of the delicate balance that exists in our world. We're fortunate that these eruptions are rare and that we have the technology and knowledge to monitor these volcanoes closely and hopefully minimize the impact of any future eruptions. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll even find a way to harness the power of these volcanoes for our own use. But until then, we'll just have to marvel at their awesome power and remember to stay safe.